Hi everyone, we are excited to have you here in today's fun-filled learning session at Uolo. Here is a quick look at how you can submit your work after the class. As a first step, go to live.uolo.com. You can use any browser to access this site. On this page, you will see a list of all our classes. Scroll down and you can see the Submit Your Work button. And then you will see a list of the classes that you've last attended, which could, for example, show the dance or craft or science experiment classes you've attended recently. Next, it will show you the list of children whose names are registered in this mobile number. Choose your name from this list to submit your work. For instance, if you are Satvik Kumar, choose that name. And then choose the class for which you would like to make your submission. For example, if you've attended the New Year's Masquerade Party session and you'd like to make the submission for this class, click on the Submit Your Work button below that. And then upload the photo you've taken. Choose the image from your phone and click Submit. You can scroll down and view all your past submissions and see how many of your friends or peers have liked your work. You can also see others' work and like their work to inspire your friends. If you want to showcase your work on social media, that too is very simple. Click on Share, copy the link and post it on Instagram or Facebook or any other platform of your choice. Just a tiny reminder, your submission looks a lot better if you could click a photo in the landscape mode rather than the portrait mode. Do not forget to tag us at YOLO_app. I'm eagerly looking forward to all your submissions right after this class.
Hi. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining in. So that was just the submission video that I've just shared so that you don't get stuck at any point while making your submission, because this is precisely the class 3 of our course about the world of word illustration. And I hope you guys have been making your submissions consistently up till now. We are already done with 2 classes and this is the class 3. So make sure that you are making those submissions consistently so that it's easy for you to track your progress at the first place. And secondly, if you attend all the classes of a course and make the submissions for all the classes of that particular course, you will receive a certificate by the end of the class. So make sure you're following that and at the same time enjoying getting creative with us. So I am going to wait for a while till all of your friends join in and then we would get started with the class. So in case you are enjoying this class and you have asked your friends to join in and cannot find them, quickly call them and ask them to join in. Tell them that the class has started and it's time to join in. And for everybody who is enjoying the class, it's good to share the same thing with your friends and people around you of the same age, and so that you could all have fun together. So that's another point, because creativity, when shared, it expands. Okay, so let's follow this particular thing and go by the track that creativity, when shared, it expands. So just go ask your friends to join in as well. If you're enjoying the class, tell them about the many hobby classes that take place at this platform and ask them to join in, and then together you all can have fun at this art class. Okay, so I see a good number of people joining in for a while. Let's give a last minute before we just get started. So in case you're new here and do not know me, hi guys, my name is Niharika and I'm conducting this course of world of word illustration. So just giving you a brief about what word illustration is. I've been repeating this consistently since the beginning of the course itself. So I'm going to quickly share this again with you. What is word illustration? Word illustration is nothing but illustrating a particular word. Come on, quickly. Illustrating a particular word in a way that the true meaning, the literal meaning of that specific word is reflected in that illustration. Okay, just quickly repeating it for you all. Word illustration is illustrating a particular word in such a way that the true meaning, the literal meaning of that word is reflected by that illustration or artwork, if you want to call it as. So just for example, for everybody who has attended the previous class, you already know the two word illustrations that we created. Come on, let's see who knows about the two word illustration that we have created in the previous class. Quickly type it in the chat section. Giving you 10 seconds. Tell me, what did we create in class 1 and class 2 of this course? Which were the two words that we illustrated in the first two course? Quickly. Yes, I'm seeing the chat section. So Sneha giving the right answer, Parth giving the right answer, Sushant is giving the right answer, Tanvi is giving the right answer, correct? Simran giving the right answer again. Raj is giving the right answer. Come on, yes, quickly. So I see so many of you who are so much aware about what did we learn in the previous class, what did we illustrate in the previous class. So good to see that. So let's not waste more time. In the first class, we illustrated the word grow. And by that first class, we again learned the core concept of word illustration. We illustrated the word grow in such a manner that the true meaning was reflected of the word. Second was look. The second class, the word for class 2 was look, and that was again another technique that was introduced to you all about the concept of word illustration. This class is again going to be about a particular word and something different about the techniques that we can follow. So I see a lot many people have joined in now, so I think it's a good time to get started with the class. But just before we get started, I want all of you all to give me a quick thumbs up in the chat section. Quickly give me a thumbs up in the chat section that you are ready with your art materials and you are all excited to get started with the class. Yes, I need thumbs ups coming in the chat section so that I get an indication that it's a good time to start and I'll just dive into the fun activity. Come on, thumbs ups coming in. Do not worry about the art materials because you all know that I discuss the art materials very much in detail and also give you the substitutes. Okay. So quickly, I need thumbs ups coming in the chat section that you guys are ready with the art materials and you're all excited to get the fun activity started. Quickly, come on. Give me thumbs ups coming in the, I need thumbs ups coming in the chat section. Okay. So a lot many thumbs ups rolling in now. Awesome. So I'm going to quickly share the screen and let us all get started. Okay. Awesome. So I've shared the screen and I hope you all are able to see the screen as well. So I'm going to first discuss the art materials. We already provide the list of art materials on the website. So make it a habit that when you're registering for a particular class or for a particular course, you make sure that you are cross-checking the list of art materials that are required for a particular course or for a particular class. Okay, keep that as a habit. Otherwise, we all already share the list of art materials during the class, but it's pretty good to stay prepared before the class is beginning. Okay, so I'm going to quickly share the screen. I've already shared the screen. I'm getting started now. So let us begin first by going to the art materials. Number one, over here, I have an A5 size of white drawing paper. This is an A5 size paper. In case you're having an A4 size paper, all you can do is cut it into half and you'll have an A5 size. In case you're having a sheet which is really smaller than A5, what you can least do is make your illustrations a little smaller so that they fit onto that sheet of paper. So that's the first basic art material. In case you're not having white sheet of paper, you can go ahead with any other colored sheet of paper that is available at your place. In case you do not have any of these, I'm sure you must be having a notebook at your place. Go grab a sheet from your notebook and you can use the same for this class as well. Okay, so these were the two substitutes that I gave for the base material, that was the paper. You can either go ahead with a notebook sheet also, that's totally fine, because we would be predominantly focusing a lot more on the techniques and the process of learning rather than sticking to the typical art materials. So make it a habit when you're into some kind of creative fields, that it is not always about the art materials. It's okay if you don't have a typical art material or the specific art material for a class. It's okay to just enjoy the process, get some learnings, and you can use some substitute art materials that you like. Okay. So that's the first basic art material, a sheet of paper. The first one. Second, we need a pencil. You already know that we create a rough sketch before going ahead with the final one. So we need a pencil. Third, I have a black sketch pen over here. This is typically for outlining everything that we draw, the outlining, the rough sketches that we draw. So we need a black sketch pen for that. In case you're not having a black sketch pen, the best substitute of a black sketch pen could be a black gel pen or a black ball pen, or even a permanent marker if you have, that is fine as well. But in case you're not having any of these, you're not having black sketch pen, that's fine. If you're not having black ball pen or black gel pen, that's fine. If you're not having a permanent marker, that's fine. You can completely skip this process for a while we're using the black sketch pen area, and that's fine. You can just skip this material if it's not available at your place. But in case you're having a black sketch pen, black ballpoint pen, black gel pen, any of these, just go grab these and we'll make use of it. Fourth, we need some crayons. So I'm using a combination of wax crayons and oil pastels over here because I was not having all the shades in wax crayons. So if you see, even I am not being very typical about the art materials. I'm focusing much more on the process rather than focusing too much on the art materials. So that's the reason I'm using a combination of two different kind of crayons. One is the wax crayons. The one I'm holding in my hand are these wax crayons, and the other ones are these oil pastels. So for wax crayons, I'm having these shade of yellow, green, red, and for the oil pastel part, I'm using gray, black, and brown. Okay, so quickly repeating all the shades for you. We need a shade of gray, black, brown, yellow, green, and red. So you can also use a combination of any type of medium that you want. If you want to use paints, you can also use paints. If you want to use a combination of paints and crayons, you can do that. If you want to use color pencils, you can do that. If you want to use sketch pens, if you want to use colorful sketch pens, you can also do that. Okay, so just something with which you can fill color. We just want that. So make sure you have a little bit of those so that you can add colors to your illustration. So I'm using a combination of these two, oil pastels and wax crayons. Awesome. So we are just done with the art material section. So let us now get started with our illustration. So we have to begin by creating the rough sketch. So I have the pencil here, and first of all, I'm going to draw a baseline, a horizontal line towards the end of the page. Okay, so just before we get started, make sure that your sheet is in the landscape mode. It should be in the landscape mode. It should be in the horizontal manner in front of you. So checkpoint 1 is the sheet is in the landscape mode. And then you draw this baseline and then the top section. So we are creating these lines as a guideline that whatever we draw, whatever we create, whatever alphabets we are filling into it, stay within these two lines only. So these are just as a guideline so that the word is um, well fit into the page and it is not having a slope. It is in a straight line, and that's the reason I've created these two horizontal lines to serve as a guideline while creating our rough sketch. So just roughly, you need not even use a scale, just roughly create these two horizontal lines, one at the top section, another at the bottom. Now, you already know that the word for today is city. Okay, so the word that we're illustrating today is city. It is CITY, and we are going to again dive into a new technique of illustrating a word. So make sure that just for the first time, you're having all your eyes on the screen and then creating it for yourself. Okay, so let us begin. And as I said, whatever we draw, whatever we create stays within these two lines, the two parallel lines only. So let us first begin by writing the alphabet C. So I'm starting with a simple curve, giving these two horizontal lines and again drawing this curve. Just like the regular alphabet, capital alphabet C that we draw with a bold manner, in a bold manner, that simply is the same thing that I'm creating over here. And just inside this area now, I am going to create these markings which look like something visible on the road. So do you see these markings on the road? Have you ever watched these parallel lines running on a road? Yes, so the city comprises of number one, road. So that is what we have depicted over here. That is what we are reflecting over here. So first we just normally write the alphabet C. Let's begin from here. And then just to give it a detail, we draw these parallel lines inside the alphabet, which look like a road. So these are the parallel lines which are visible on the road. So that is what I'm drawing over here. It's fine if it's not perfectly in alignment. Awesome. So I'm just done with the first alphabet, that is C. Let's move to the next alphabet now, the next alphabet of a word, that is I. So for I, I'm just simply going to draw a rectangle first. Make sure that you're not creating these very large because there are other two alphabets that are also going to be accommodated in this space. So I've just created this rectangle over here. And now I'm going to draw some small squares and rectangles again. Let's see who is able to guess what this is. So if you just understand or if you're able to guess what this particularly is, quickly type it in the chat section and let's see who gets this first. Okay, so I'm just drawing these squares, tiny squares and rectangles over here, which are perfectly in alignment on top of each other. Okay. I see some guesses coming in, but quickly, let's see if everybody is able to guess this or not. What do you think this is? What does this look like to you? Okay, we are done and we have lots of guesses coming in. Yes, that's right. It's a building. And since we see lots of buildings in a city, that is what I've depicted over here again. So the second alphabet I is depicted by drawing. Depicted means reflecting. So that's how we have reflected I in a manner that it is a building. Okay, so I'm quickly repeating it for you. First, we draw a rectangle and then we draw tiny squares and rectangles inside, just like small windows and balconies. Okay. So just drawing these squares and rectangles inside the larger rectangle. All right, reaching till the end almost. Awesome. So we're just done with the two alphabets. We're done with the 50% of the word already. Let's now move to the next alphabet, that is T. And this time I'm going to reflect this alphabet by a tree. So I'm just drawing the trunk first. I'm giving a side leaf. And then I'm going to quickly top it with some leaves again. So as I said, I'm making a tree over here. So I'm going to draw some leaves at the top section. I'm just drawing these leaves at the top section. Do not worry, I'm going to repeat it again in case you have missed it. So just randomly add leaves at the top section, but do not go overboard. Do not add too many of these. So let's repeat it for everyone who has not followed this. So we are on to the third alphabet of this word, that is T. And for T, I'm going to draw a tree. For T, I'm going to draw a tree. Okay. So we just draw the trunk first and then we give these leaves on the top. So pretty easy. Make sure that you're drawing a little larger leaves this time so that it's easy for you to fill in the colors. Okay, there we go. Awesome. So done with the three alphabets now. We are done with C, I, T, and the last alphabet now is Y. Okay, so carefully observe. Y is pretty much simple now. It is easy to grasp and catch up. So we first just start by writing a regular Y, just the regular one, the V and a vertical line at the center. So all of y'all first draw this alphabet Y in a simple manner, and then I'll show what details we are going to add into it. So just for the first time, draw this capital Y just like I've drawn in a regular bold way. Okay, so quickly draw the Y first, normally like we do. So first we draw a V, we create a V, and then we give a vertical line. Okay, so once done, we are going to add a triangle at the top section. So I want all your eyes on the screen for the first time when I'm showing it, when I'm creating it, and then when I repeat, you can draw it for yourself. So I draw a horizontal line first, and then I connect the two ends of the horizontal line at the top section. So this is how I've created these two triangles. I'm going to quickly repeat it for you all. Let's begin from here. So we just start by creating this alphabet Y, and then we give the two triangles on top. So quickly observe this. I first draw a horizontal line over here, and then I connect the ends of these two horizontal lines to the top section over here. So I've just drawn the horizontal line over here, and then now I'm going to draw these two diagonal lines which look like a triangle. Same on the opposite side. And now just give a double outline to it so that it looks bold. So that is what I've done over here. I've just made it a little thicker so that it's easy to fill color into it and it's also visible. Okay, so we are just done with the rough sketch now. And let us quickly go ahead and outline everything that we have created over here with a black sketch pen. Okay, so for everybody who's using a black sketch pen or a black gel pen or a black ball pen, please go ahead and redraw or overdraw everything with your black sketch pen or the black ballpoint pen or gel pen. And for anybody who could not find a black sketch pen or any of the substitute of it, it's fine. You can just skip this particular process, and then when we are moving on to the color section, you can fill colors along with us. So it's fine if you don't have a black sketch pen or a black ballpoint pen, you can just skip this process. Okay, awesome. So let's quickly go ahead and add the outline. All right, so I'm just going ahead and giving an outline over here. Okay, so maybe I forgot to share what the last alphabet Y is. So that is nothing but a signboard. Okay, so it is a signboard. In a city, you must be viewing these signboards along the sides of the road, which guide us about the locality, about the area, about the norms of the road that are being followed in a city. So this particular symbol is nothing but it says that at a point there are going to be two diversions. The road is going to be diverted into two routes again. So that's what is the Y about. So it is a symbol. It is a road sign. So there are many kind of road signs that we find along the sides of the road. Do you know them? Quickly write it in the chat section about the road signs that you have observed. Let's see who has a keen observation. Let's see who is aware about the road signs along the sides of the road or the highways. Come on, quickly. Yes. I see Raj saying we have a signboard of U-turn. That's right. We see a sign of a U-turn sometimes. Let's see how many of you all know this. Yes, somebody is saying there's a cross line on the U-turn type saying indicating that the U-turns are prohibited. Correct. So that is what these signs are about. We'll discuss in detail about these signs sometime later, but let's focus on this illustration first. So my whole motive by reflecting this word was just to give an overview of the city. So this time the technique was a little different. This time the technique was something what we observe generally around us, but do not pay much attention to it. So just like the first, let's quickly discuss about this word illustration before we just dive into the color section, adding colors. So the word was city, and this time it was a gameplay of the observations. So for me, the word city went something like this about what all do we observe in the city. So I could not include all of it, but I included the main parts of it. So let's begin by the first alphabet, that was C, and I depicted it in a manner that it is a road or a highway. So highways and roads are with these markings are predominantly found more in the city areas. So that's the reason I caught up this first alphabet in a way that it is a road. Second alphabet was I, and cities have tall buildings and something like these. So the second alphabet was depicted by drawing a building. The third were the trees. Of course, the trees are found in the village areas as well, but I thought it was a good idea to include a tree over here so that it stands out like a a tree and an alphabet T. And lastly, for Y, I use the road sign that is of diversion. That was the last one. And that is how we observe and create. So understand this fact that it is essential for creativity that you are observing things around us. You might be observing a lot of things around us, but we rarely pay much attention to it. We rarely be keen about something related to it. So it's always a good idea that uh, the observation skills are polished well enough if you are into creativity. Your observation skills could be a huge, huge bonus for you in your creative skills as well. Okay, so enough said now. I think it's now time to dive into the color section. Let's quickly add some vibrancy to this illustration. All right, just before we get started with the colors, I forgot to erase the pencil lines over here. So for all of y'all, just erase the pencil lines over here because we are just done with the outline. So you can just go ahead, take an eraser and erase everything that is here with the pencil and make it completely neat. Okay. So I'm starting with the colors now. For the road, I'm going to use this shade of gray. And make sure that you're not filling color inside the parallel lines that we have drawn. Those need to be kept white only. All right, so I'm going to add color into the first alphabet. And as I said, do not add color into the white parallel lines that we have drawn. We need to keep them blank only. So adding colors are the most favorite part of just drawing something or creating something, because adding colors makes your artwork the most lively ever, isn't it? Okay, so just adding colors. So I'm just done with the first alphabet here. Let's move to the next one now, the building. And for the windows over here, I'm gonna color the squares with yellow. I'm coloring the square with yellow. And for the rectangles, I'm gonna add a shade of orange over here. If you don't have orange, you can just continue with the yellow crayon or yellow shade only. But I just thought to add something different over here, so I went ahead with a orange crayon. And for the building, I'm going to add this blue. I'm adding blue over here. So let's quickly go ahead and add blue to the building. Make sure you're not adding color inside the windows, just around it. Okay, there we go. So be as neat as possible while adding colors, because this could be a game changer to your artwork. Okay, so be as neat as possible while you're adding colors. Let's move ahead to the tree now, adding this green to the leaves. Let's make it a typical tree over here. So adding this green to the leaves. And again, if you see, I'm being as neat as possible while adding the colors. And do not move out of that area. All right. And for the trunk of the tree, of course, we're going to use a shade of brown. I'm using this brown oil pastel because as you all are aware that I'm going to use a combination of oil pastels and wax crayons because I was not having all the shades available in one pack. So I just thought of using a combination of these. Awesome. Let's move to the last alphabet now. The last one, I'm going to use this black itself because if you observe the signboards, they are generally black and red in color. So I went ahead with a shade of black itself here. Okay, so just going ahead with black and filling color over here to the signboard, the road signboard. All right. Awesome. So I'm just done with adding colors. And as I said that I was unable to erase it while I was overdrawing everything with a black sketch pen. But I hope you guys have erased the pencil lines. But now I'm going to go ahead and erase these pencil lines very, very carefully so that the crayons do not smudge. You need not do that in case you haven't already. You can just skip this process. But if you have already erased it well enough, that's great. I'm going to quickly go ahead and erase this area. The top and the bottom horizontal lines that we created as markings, I'm just erasing it. Awesome. I'm just done with this illustration and I hope you guys have also completed it. And that was our illustration for today about the class 3 of our course of word illustration. I hope all of you all enjoyed learning this technique and you had lots of fun creating this artwork with me. Last thing to remember is please do make your submissions for this class because I'm going right away after this class ends to check your submissions and see how are you all doing. And I'll see you in the next class. Till then, please take care. Please take good care of yourself and I'll see you in the next class. Make sure that you're not missing out to the next class because the next class is the last class of this course and there's something really exciting for you there. So I want to see all of y'all in the next class and I'll see you there soon. Till then, take care, stay creative, enjoy all the classes on Uolo. Bye-bye.
Hi everyone, we are excited to have you here in today's fun-filled learning session at Uolo. Here is a quick look at how you can submit your work after the class. As a first step, go to live.uolo.com. You can use any browser to access this site. On this page, you will see a list of all our classes. Scroll down and you can see the Submit Your Work button. And then you will see a list of the classes that you've last attended, which could, for example, show the dance or craft or science experiment classes you've attended recently. Next, it will show you the list of children whose names are registered in this mobile number. Choose your name from this list to submit your work. For instance, if you are Satvik Kumar, choose that name. And then choose the class for which you would like to make your submission. For example, if you've attended the New Year's Masquerade Party session and you'd like to make the submission for this class, click on the Submit Your Work button below that. And then upload the photo you've taken. Choose the image from your phone and click Submit. You can scroll down and view all your past submissions and see how many of your friends or peers have liked your work. You can also see others' work and like their work to inspire your friends. If you want to showcase your work on social media, that too is very simple. Click on share, copy the link and post it on Instagram or Facebook or any other platform of your choice. Just a tiny reminder, your submission looks a lot better if you could click a photo in the landscape mode rather than the portrait mode. Do not forget to tag us at Uolo_app. I'm eager